Let's talk about public propriety. Let's talk about the morality under which the appointments are made. This is a matter that concerns the public education system in our country, in the state of Kerala more importantly. Arbitrariness, nepotism, were there undue favors that were granted? The High Court...
Not arbitrary?
Sir, please let me complete my question.
To throw out so many vice chancellors of universities.
So that's a matter which is still open for debate, still open for litigation. There is a matter which the High Court has decided today, and I think the government of the day should answer about it. I mean, you can draw this artificial distinction between guidelines versus rules, but there's a good point that Tulsi is making, that this is about propriety. This is about public employment.
It is not necessary for this kind of debate. The matter is open to litigation.
You are saying that appointment at a public university is being made.
It is not open to debate the way you're doing it.
Why is it not open to debate? I argue it is open to debate. Why is it not open for debate? Is there a gag order to talk about this issue, sir?
Because the law concerned is a law under which we can appeal.
Completely shattered by the judgment.
Suniji, a person of your stature, we all respect. You are at loss of words. That means the position is very bad.
Judgment is a judgment. I'm very glad that the judges in Kerala are better than the judges in Delhi and other places where all kinds of things are being done.
That's a personal comment that Mr. Chopra is making. This is not a reflection of the views of this channel. Mr. Nair, I'm coming to you, and I say this with all respect to Mr. Chopra, but that the arguments that are being made today are not comprehensible. First, you make a technical distinction between a rule versus a guideline. It's not a rule book, it's a guideline. But these are larger questions of propriety that needs to be considered.
It should go by the rule.
Mr. Chopra, you've not answered me on the propriety of it. You've not answered that the High Court has looked at broad parameters when it comes to appointments in public universities.
The propriety of it in a condition like India cannot be discussed in abstract. It has to be in a concrete situation.
So tell me, I am putting out a concrete.
What the governor of Kerala has done is wrong.
See, I don't think
he
it is
only a governor.
good in a debate
all right, Mr. Nair. All right, Mr. Nair, you want to come in?
I think we also have the right to put forward our opinions.
Mr. Nair, one of the things that was said some time ago was that all these rules and guidelines were actually framed by the Congress government. And the state government has the leeway under the same very guidelines to make these kind of appointments. Do you want to respond to that?
See, first of all, what he has to understand is the court has not commented against the guidelines. It has not said anything about the guidelines. But in the particular case, the court has seen that the guidelines were flouted. Because her educational, her period of education, teacher this thing also, that itself was not complete as per the guidelines. That is what the court has observed. I think Mr. Ghosh is on another debate of whether the guidelines is true or not. See, it does not fit your agenda, the CPM's agenda, to place the private secretary's wife as the associate professor. That is your problem, but the guidelines.
The agenda is that of the Congress. You have to why those
in the state of Kerala, and I say this, I dare say this in other states as well, but more particularly in the state of Kerala, because that's the topic which is being discussed. Rahul Ishwar,
sorry, we are not getting enough time to respond because he is interfering. Please.
All right, Mr. Nair, make your point. Then I have to take a question with Rahul Ishwar as well. Please go ahead.
So this is what the CPM agenda is. They are doing the same thing what they did in the Bengal to the Presidency College and also the Calicut.
Mr. Chopra, please let him make his point. Mr. Chopra, please let him make his point. One at a time, please. One at a time, please. Mr. Nair.
Sir, please.
Mr. Nair. Mr. Nair.
The CPM is doing the same thing to the Kerala higher education. 32,000 students have gone out of Kerala. Kerala is suffering a major issue like a brain drain, and we as a society are trying to stop our students going out. Now the problem is the entire higher education system have been completely demolished by CPM. They are trying to put their people as VCs, and all these things are interrelated. Because who shortlisted these candidates for this Kannur University? It is the VC who shortlisted these candidates. So the CPM is trying to
the government, it doesn't look like will go back on that ordinance. They have already got an ordinance in place.
See, the entire ordinance,
seems very unlikely they'll go back on
bill,
it.
everything is to take forward their agenda of painting these institutions red. Actually, that is why they are having a knee-jerk reactions. They are going against the chancellor. They are issuing an ordinance, and after that they are going. Now they are not saying about the ordinance. Instead, they are trying to pass a bill in the coming session. So
Rahul,
the
often,
CPM is completely.
all right, I want to bring in Rahul Ishwar as well into the discussion. Rahul, there is often this entire discussion how certain organizations or political parties, and BJP has been often accused of this, that you're trying to saffronize education. But let's talk about this particular way in which education is affected in a state like Kerala. The High Court order today doesn't directly talk about it, but it does give us substantial grounds to argue that politics is taking precedence over merit in appointments at the universities, and perhaps it's an open secret that Mr. Nair was also talking about.
Absolutely. That's a very worrisome trend. As a person working in the field of education, everyone realizes this. Please remember, all the non-left parties, both BJP and Congress and civil society, academicians have been raising this. See, this is about the future of our children. Every party may have their own proclivities, their own ecosystem they have to cater to. These are all Indian realities. But at the same point of time, overt and such kind of very grand actions which will really damage the institution, like my good friend Sri Raju P. Nair said, is absolutely distasteful and absolutely disgraceful. BJP has raised it, Governor has raised it, Congress has raised it, academicians have raised it. That's the reason why the whole effort to paint it red is absolutely unfortunate, uncalled for, and hope even right now, as a normal Malayali, I would request Kerala government to leave the stubbornness, leave the upmanship and accept the nice proposals of the governor and also follow the directive of the Kerala government. They have been on a war path and war footing, which is unfortunate. Their left should not be so stubborn in their stance, and we all respect Suniji, who's a very senior to all of us. We all have great respect for him. But an articulate person like him cannot defend the position because they all know it is wrong. So let us be honest in calling a spade, and I thank national media like CNN News 18 for raising this very pertinent issue, because this affects our coming generations.
Spade is a racist term against the black people.
Oh, sir, please, sir.
All right,
please understand the spirit of
Tulsi, I'm coming. No, sir, nobody, no, sir. In the spirit of a healthy discussion, I don't think that was the intention of Rahul Ishwar, and neither is the intention of any of us to be racist on this manner.
I know.
I want to come back to the debate. Sir, I want to come back to the debate. Sir, why don't you answer on this point and address it directly? Is there a somewhere, Tulsi, an attempt to make educational institutions in a certain way? The versions of history in our country, the right versus the left, has always been a contested one, more so in today's day and age. But if you can accuse the BJP or other parties of saffronizing the education, similar question stands for the left parties in the state of Kerala.
No, of course.
The left parties have left the courts to do what they like.
Well, sir, the courts in this country are free to do what they like, whether it's Kerala or it's Delhi or it's Karnataka or any other part of the country.
The court does not.
They are not free. You have seen what happened.
I don't think there is any metric to decide which court is more independent.
The courts of Delhi and various other states.
Tulsi, make your point. Please, go ahead.
Of course, the left government is not immune from
Mr. Kejriwal has
Mr. Chopra, please let her make the argument. Mr. Chopra, please let her make the argument. No, not this way. Tulsi, please go ahead.
Any democratic government, for that matter, will be answerable to its people. It is, of course, subject to political criticism, and something as important as an appointment in a public university, of course, it will have to answer. But I just want to make this point that we should not conflate these two issues, right? There is one issue of appointment, and there are allegations made against one appointment, and that does not legitimize all the actions of the governor, and that is important to note that. Here we have a system wherein we have a fight between a nominated head, namely the governor, and an elected legitimate government. So we should, merely because one of the allegations of the governor get some judicial endorsement, if at all, from the High Court, that doesn't legitimize automatically all the actions of the governor.
No, you're right, but Tulsi, and legally I agree with you that it doesn't legitimize in any way. That's not an argument. But that being said, Rahul, the key question is also the fact that the governor's office is supposed to act as a check and a balance. And if in this one appointment it can be substantially raised, yes, legally you can't hold that as a barometer for all the cases concerned. But in public perception, the questions do find some merit and substance.
Absolutely, yes. And please remember, beyond a battle, governor has been raising some very serious issues. We all know he's not a rubber stamp kind of a governor. We all remember T.N. Sheshan with great admiration, because before him, there was no election commission we would ever know, because T.N. Sheshan was very vibrant, active and proactive in intervening.
Every governor is a rubber stamp, and this man is doing the job of the RSS.
Sir, you may feel, because of your political affiliation, but the normal people of Kerala see him as a person who is standing
he
up
is
for
doing
ethics,
the job of the
uprightness and
RSS.
propriety. And he is not a rubber stamp of any party, and he is a person who has even sacrificed his post because of his principle.
He
in the Rajiv
is
Gandhi
the
government.
rubber
We all
stamp
know
of
his
the
antecedents.
BJP. Do
We all
not
know his-
try to hide the fact.
Just let me please finish. So let me please finish. Sri Arif Muhammad Khan resigned his post of minister because he believed in some principle in reformation of the Muslim, affecting Muslim women. So he's a man of principle in that matter, and he has been raising some issues. It is up to the government. It's up
He
to
is
the Kerala
now a
government and
man
Chief
of
Minister
principle.
to be the statesman. It is up to the Kerala Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan, who is a very strong
All
man
right.
and a strong Chief Minister.
Well, Rahul,
to be